Hello and welcome to episode 123 of the Heart of Markness, Led Zeppelin podcast. We knew this day would come when I would have to broach this subject, and here it is. This is by request, I think, of Mimo, patron of the stars. Coverdale page. For our sins, Coverdale page. Hey, I really liked it. Good. I did not. Not because... Oh, that's interesting. I'm recording on the wrong track. Well, okay. I can move that later. I didn't like the project because... Well, just because David Coverdale. Again, not saying he's a bad singer at all. The fucker's kept a solid career going for almost 5 decades. He's retiring next year. Good for him. But, you know, it's... come on, man. And the downside of it is Coverdale Page has some of Jimmy's best post-Zepp playing. Hands down. It's just the songs are cock rock cheese. And it's not my thing. But I will now, that's over. I'm not going to dog it because a lot of people love it. I don't, so that's out there. All right, moving ahead. They did, Coverdale Page, David Coverdale and Jimmy Page, recorded an album in the early 90s in Lake Tahoe, Nevada. Together, it has been surmised that Jimmy did it specifically to drive Robert crazy. And coincidentally, it drove Robert crazy. And before Coverdale Page even really took off as a touring unit, Robert and Jimmy had already met in Boston at the show I was at. And decided to do the unleaded thing. Originally just a one-off, but they got going after that. And Coverdale Page was discontinued. And one of the reasons, aside from Robert and Jimmy getting back together, was because the preliminary ticket sales and the projections for ticket sales were very low. Not abysmally Spinal Tap playing at a county fair low, but low in the way of Coverdale Page should have come out in 1986, 1987 maybe, not 1993. Hair metal was over. Grunge was in. Gone were Poison and Rat and Cinderella and Whitesnake from the top of the heap. Replaced by Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, etc. And it is a bummer that, you know, the song, I can't remember the song, Stone Temple Pilots, Lush? Plush? The one that kind of sounds like Jimmy Page on it. Down, out, down, down, out, down, their first single. I heard that on the radio, and I initially thought that was Coverdale Page, because it sounded enough to me like David Coverdale. That definitely sounded like Jimmy Page. Definitely sounded Zeppelin-ish. And it sounded great. I liked it. And then it wasn't. And then I heard Jimmy Page and the Coverdale Page, Pride and Joy. And I was like, oh, my dear. So sad. That being said, Jimmy's playing, it's out of this fucking world. His mastery of the sounds. That was the first appearance, this album, this tour, of the trans performance guitar. The Les Paul with the buttons on it that changes the tuning on the fly. Fucking genius. I wish I could do a Back to the Future thing with Doc and the DeLorean and go back to 1975 and go, here, this will tune your guitar. Just press a button and it'll tune it. We won't have to worry about anything. Looking at you, 321. It is hot. You could probably hear my air conditioner running. Yeah. It's I can see it moving the needles. Just silent, as I'm silent. It is hot. It is currently 87 degrees in my upstairs garret. It's more than 100 outside. So, I consider myself lucky. The air is blowing on me, so I am not 87 degrees, but it's still hot. And it just kind of... So, forgive me if my energy isn't that high. And I'm probably taking it out on poor Coverdale Page, my grumpiness. So, I will shut the fuck up. And just finish up with, yes, Coverdale Page came out. It did not perform very well. Considering it, like I mentioned before, had it come out pre-grunge, had it even come out in 1990, it would have killed. It would have been late to the party, and it would have been fading. It would have been like a great disco album coming out in 1979. But honestly, yes, this album, the only thing wrong with it is that it's, at least 5 years too late. Coverdale Page is a good disco album that's released in 1984. And thus it did not perform spectacularly. And, it's a matter of the people that like David Coverdale and Whitesnake like Led Zeppelin. The people that like Led Zeppelin do not necessarily like David Coverdale and Whitesnake. It's cheaper, it's more crude, it's cruder. David's stage banter is peppered with profanities. He talks about his cock and things like that. Things that Robert alludes to, tongue-in-cheek. David will just say, "How the fuck are ya? How's your cock?" It's his thing. Maybe he has a nice cock. He seems to be a nice enough guy. But it's just, you don't. Yeah. All right, I said I wasn't going to do this. I'm going to shut up. All right, it happened. All right, everybody, it happened. Jimmy and David hooked up, and it happened, and they created a beautiful album. And just because the album didn't do as well as other albums, and just because they didn't stay together very long, doesn't mean that they didn't love their album very, very much, and that what they had wasn't real. What they had was a very brief tour of Japan. And Japan is where you tour, because you're big in Japan, when you're not 100% on top of your game. Like Dylan, just before he turned Christian at the end of the 70s for his Street Legal tour, recorded a live album in Japan, toured in Japan, because he had totally redone his band, he had totally redone his sound, he had horns, he had slick arrangements. It was more like a Springsteen set. And then you hear the Live at the Budokan album, and then you hear like schmaltzy Bob, and then I wrote trying out the new persona in Japan so that if it tanks, who the fuck's gonna know, right? Similar thing, and also they're big in Japan. So they played a few gigs, and unfortunately, none of the gigs have tremendously great recordings. This one is fine. This is absolutely fine. But considering it was recorded in December of 93, one would think it would be amazing. And I have not been able to find any amazing recordings from this tour. So apologies. The band for this tour is David Coverdale, Jimmy Page, Guy Pratt on bass, Denny Carmassi on drums, and Brett Tuggle on keyboards. Denny Carmassi I have to look up, but something in my brain is like, he played for that group that Sammy Hagar was in before he was Sammy Hagar. Montrose? Yeah. So I got to look that up. In any case, Denny Carmassi, fine cock rock drummer. None of the subtlety of Bonzo. And where Michael Lee from Page Plant was the same way, he had none of the subtlety. He didn't have the swing as much as Bonzo, but he had more fun. I don't know, man. You already know how I feel about this, so I'm viewing this through a lens that's like, all right, you fuckers want Coverdale Page? You'll get Coverdale Page. This is December 21st, 1993 in Osaka, Japan. It's a remastered recording. It will be available on Heart of Markness for you folks who want it. And actually, this recording is 2 shows, the 20th and the 21st. I'm taking the tracks from the 21st, but the track list is the same for both. And the track list is, in case you want to download this from heartofmarkness.com, which you can, we have Absolution Blues, Slide It In, Whitesnake tune, Rock and Roll, Zeppelin, Over Now, Coverdale Page, Kashmir, Zeppelin, Pride and Joy, Coverdale Page, Take a Look at Yourself, I think it's Coverdale Page, Take Me for a Little While, Coverdale Page, In My Time of Dying, Zeppelin, Here I Go Again, Whitesnake, White Summer, Black Mountainside, Zeppelin, Don't Leave Me This Way, I don't remember, maybe Coverdale Page, Still of the Night, no, I'm sorry, Shake My Tree, Coverdale Page, and Page Plant did this song on their 95 tour. Shake My Tree, Still of the Night, an amalgamation of Out on the Tiles and Black Dog, and then finishing up with an amalgamation of Feelin' Hot and The Ocean. Feelin' Hot, I believe, is Coverdale Page as well. And same set list for the next night as well. I'm going to play you 4 songs from this show. I'm going to play you some Zeppelin, I'm going to play you some Coverdale Page, and I'm going to play you some Whitesnake. Jimmy does wonderfully. The band does wonderfully. The performances of these songs are great. I just don't like the songs. That's all it is. So, and I really don't care. David Coverdale, his live persona just puts me off. So apologies for that. There is a bias in this. But let's jump into it. Oh shit, I didn't label the tracks. We are going to hear... What are we going to hear? Still of the Night? Wow. Hang on a second. We're going to find out what we're going to hear. You won't notice any lapse. It's not Still of the Night. Here I Go Again on My Own. Going down the only road I've ever known. December 21st, 1993. Enjoy it.
Feeling good? Okay, let's sing this song together. Utate Osaka. Hanging on the promises and songs of yesterday, and I've made up my mind. I ain't wasting no more time. Here I go again. The Lord keeps searching for an answer. I never seem to find what I'm looking for. Oh Lord, I pray you give me strength to carry on, 'cause I know what it means to walk along the longest somebody now. From the heart, thank you, Osaka. Thank you very much indeed. Ooh, it's time for chills.
See? It was good. If you like that stuff, if you like that style of music, if you like Whitesnake, it was good. Jimmy played well. And that's something he does. He can emulate other players great, being that session musician that he was. He can play other people's stuff like nobody's business. And in another, alternate timeline, Coverdale Page continued. And it probably did well, because people would go to the show, especially if they're doing Zeppelin songs. My gosh. I would have gone to see Jimmy. Fuck yeah. Playing as well as he is? Absolutely. And it's nice to hear him play songs I haven't heard him play before. Says after 18 minutes of totally shitting on it. It's just... Here's the thing. I feel that the work with Coverdale Page is beneath him. And that's my deal to deal with. So, you guys know. This is perfectly fine, and the remaster brings out the original recording was pretty mid-rangey. Didn't have much dynamic range. It didn't have, they fixed a bunch of that and made it absolutely listenable. I'm not the world's biggest fan of the drummer because he's not Bonzo and he's a cock rock drummer. Nothing wrong with that, but I don't know. He's not a drummer that Jimmy can feed off of and groove with. Like Bonzo, like Jason, like Steve Gorman from The Crows. Chris Slade was kind of the same way. Not a bad drummer by any stretch of the words. Neither is Danny Commercy. But just they don't seem to lock in and feed Jimmy. There doesn't seem to be that circuit that's there with Steve and with Bonzo. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Well, let's just say it's me. That's all I can talk about and speak to is my own experience. Yo! All right, what are we going to play next? We've got Here I Go. Okay. Oh, you know what I'm going to play? Right after this, Jimmy did White Summer, Black Mountainside, and we're going to hear it for a couple of reasons. Primarily because it's really good, because he's playing brilliantly. Secondly, because there are some things popped into this that I had not heard before. It's not all just the standard, doom, brum, 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 diddle-doo, brown, biddle-doo, 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 wow. It is all that, but there's some other stuff to it too. And it's a neat take, and even does a little bit of Over the Hills and Far Away in it, which is weird with that tuning. And so, we've heard Whitesnake, now we're going to hear just Jimmy, and you're going to like it. I hope, because it's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, White Summer, Black Mountainside. Jimmy Page, Coverdale Page. Don't turn the page. Here we go.
Osaka, Mr. Jimmy Page.
That was lovely. Jimmy's playing. Masterful. In command of the instrument. In command of the internet. That's Jimmy. In command of his instrument. Playing brilliantly. Playing wonderfully. The audience not really reacting that strongly, but it's a weird mix. Because the White Snake Deep Purple crowd definitely overlaps with the Zeppelin crowd. But only with the... Oops. That was a spoiler. All right, well, let's just jump ahead and hear what you already kind of heard a little bit of. We're going to hear now, towards the end of the show, the Out on the Tiles Black Dog Melange. And as you heard, it was good. This is where I realized Danny Carmassi, I should look that up. Some respect for the poor guy. Boink. Denny Carmassi. Good. When I was like, oh, he doesn't swing. He doesn't do any of the fun little bonzo stuff with this song. And it's a weird time signature. And it's a weird cadence. And he covers it by just being straight. I don't know. He dumbs it down, in my opinion. But it's still good. It's still fun. And you will still enjoy it. All right, friendos. Enjoy it. Like I told you to.
since I'm out. People need my dollar. Spend my money. You took my car. Started to my friends. You gotta be a star. Well, I don't know. But I've been told. Biggie wanna kill our soul.
Performance-wise, great. Jimmy playing amazingly well. I don't know why it doesn't spark joy in me. Whatever. Hopefully it sparks joy in you. I hope. It is spiel time. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook and YouTube under the Nom de Plume. Heart of Markness. There's a nice Facebook group you are welcome to join. I implore you to join it. I invite you to join it. I also have heartofmarkness.com, where you can find the shows that I feature in their entirety where available, when available, which is almost all the time. So you'll be able to go to heartofmarkness.com and download this entire show, both shows actually, the 20th and the 21st, for free, because that's how it works. That's how I got it, right? Right. Okay, friendos. If you like what I do and you like how I do it, I invite you to consider, and you are of a mind and of means to do so, consider becoming a patron of this fine podcast. Become one of the titans upon whose shoulders rests this podcast. Like these fine folks here. Patreon.com/heartofmarkness, or just click the Patreon button on heartofmarkness.com. See if there's something there that interests you. A Laurel and hearty handshake go out to Philip, Picard, Kneggern, Jeff, Chris, Michael, Rob from Melbourne, Australia, Wayne, Brad, Danielle, Tracy, David, Mark, David, Bonzo Billy, and Mimo, who's the reason you're listening to Coverdale Page. Enjoy, Mimo. I did this for you. I did it all for you. All right. Now that that's done and over with. Oh, my Lord. It's this heat. It's getting hotter in here. It's the time of night, 6 o'clock. Now, for the next 2 hours, all the heat that's stored in the uninsulated attic above my head is just going to be released into this room. And it is, even with the AC blowing directly on me, it is hot. Which is why I'm probably so negative and bitchy tonight. Because I'm like, I don't feel good. You know when you're hot and your tummy's like, dude, I don't feel good. That's what's going on. So I apologize. Next week, hopefully, will be better. I have one more song for you. One more. And it is a Coverdale Page song. Because we've played Whitesnake, we've played Zeppelin, and we've played Zeppelin. And we've played Zeppelin. And also we had a little Zeppelin. Now we have actually a song from the album. Take Me for a Little While, which I like because it has a nice solo from Mr. James Patrick Page. Enjoy Take Me for a Little While. Bow, 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 bow. Enjoy. And there you have it, my friends. Coverdale page, December 21st, 1993, in Osaka, Japan. I have done it, Mimo. I hope you're happy. I hope you listeners who stuck it through are happy. You'll be able to get this on heartofmarkness.com so you can own both shows and listen to them in their entirety. I don't know if I'm going to do a classic rock podcast this weekend. Number one, it's going to be very, 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 very hot, which sucks because it makes me grumpy, as you can tell, and miserable, as you can tell. And I'll have my daughter here as well. And she'll be monopolizing all my tech playing video games. But I will, there's an outside chance I will get one done. If not, I will 100% do another Zeppelin podcast on Thursday next. Every Thursday is Zeppelin or Zeppelin related, and the weekends are bonus and wildcard shows. So we shall see. All right, friendos, thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you are comfortable wherever you are. And be good to yourself and each other. Thank you for listening.